All right, so today, chapter 1, lesson 1, we're going to the beginning of the book, okay? So this is the first lesson in the entire book, and it talks about rates. And my question to you is, what do you think a rate is? What do you think a rate is? Take your best guess. Some of you already kind of got it figured out because of the pretest, right? But what do you think a rate is? Mr. Augustine, what do you think a rate is? You don't know? But you got them all right on the pretest. Just guessed. What do you think a rate is? Anybody got a guess? Nobody has one guess. Josie, what's your guess? Okay, so how often something occurs in a period of time. That's a really, really, really good guess. Anybody else want to guess on top of Josie's? No? Think her sounded pretty good? All right. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so a rate. Here's the actual definition, okay? A rate is exactly what Josie said, only a little broader, okay? So it's actually comparing two different things with two different units. Comparing two different things with two different units, and it shows how they're related. Even though you're comparing two different things, it's showing how it's related. Some of you are maybe wondering, well, what does the unit thing mean? Okay, so if you go back to that pretest, here was the first one in that pretest. 50 miles in 2 hours. We're comparing 50 miles in 2 hours. Two different units, right? Miles and hours, two different units. Same thing with number 2. 21 laps in 7 minutes. Laps and minutes. Here's another one. $10.50 for 3 pounds. What are we comparing there? Money and pounds. It's not always time. A lot of times it is. It's not always time. Like that one was units or money in pounds. So don't always think it's going to be amount of time. It can also be other things as well. Okay. So a unit rate. Here's our another vocabulary word. A unit rate is finding the rate for one item. Finding the rate for one item. You're going to be dealing a lot with unit rates today. So I'm going to go back to this pretest again, and I'm going to talk about unit rate. So at the beginning, this number 1, it said 50 miles in 2 hours. That's just a rate. Now it asks you to find the unit rate. Now to find the unit rate, it said 50 miles in 2 hours. We want to know how many miles are in 1 hour. That's a unit rate. So your answer for 25 on number 1 was the unit rate. That's how far you went in 1 hour. So anytime they ask you to find unit rate, you're going to find for 1 hour, 1 pound, 1 minute, 1 whatever, okay? We'll practice some of these in a second. Unit price. A unit price is basically the same thing as a unit rate. It's only when you're using money. So that one on like number 3 was $10.50 for 3 pounds. That's when we're finding a unit price. So unit rate and unit price are basically the same thing, except for that unit price is when you're dealing with money. That's the only difference there. Unit price, unit rate, same thing, except for the one deals with money. I think that's all for my vocab today. Seems like a lot of vocab. Ready? All right. Want to go back quick? right, so let's talk about these rates. Okay, so this says a basketball player scored 80 points in 2 games. What's my rate in here? Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, 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 no. What's my rate? 80 points in 2 hours. That's my rate. Now, if I asked what a unit rate was, what am I going to try to find? How many points are scored in 1 game, right? So how can I do that? Now, the easiest way to write a rate is to write it like this. 80 points in 2 hours. That's a way to write a rate. There's about 3 other ways to write a rate. But I think this is probably the easiest way. You know why? Because if I set it up like this, what does this line mean again? Divide. If I set it up like this, I'm already helping myself figure out the unit rate. Because what do I have to do to find that unit rate? Take 80 divided by 2, and that's going to tell me how many points I score in 1 game. So I already know in 1 game I'm going to score 40 points in 1 game. Now when you write a unit rate, I really hope you write it like this. Don't just write 40 because I don't know what that means. When you write rates, you say 40 points in 1 game. Okay? So make sure you write your rate out like that. If I go down to this one, I don't know why I can't do that. The girl read 14 books in 12 days. What's my rate, first of all? Yeah, 14 books in 12 days. That's a lot of books. Yeah, it's me. She must be a big reader. Now, what would I do to find the unit rate here? What am I going to do to figure out how many books she reads in 1 day? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Somebody help me out? Jacob. I'm going to divide. So I'm going to start dividing. So 14, remember my top always goes in the house. Let's see. Goes in 1 time. I get 20. Goes in 1 time. Oh. 8. Goes in 6 times. So I get, what is that? 72. And I get an 8 again, right? What's going to keep happening? Going to keep doing what? Keep repeating. But about how many books can she read in a day? 1.2, 1.1. I would say about 1.2. I'm going to round it up. Okay? Is everybody starting to understand what you're doing to find a unit rate? Okay. That's all right. That's all right. Oh, you want the problem? I'm going to have to orientate my board. I'm going to have to reorientate the board. All right, ready? Okay. All right, so I want you to figure these out for me. First, I want you to write the rate in your notebook. Actually, you know what I want you to do? I want you to write an example in your notebook. Okay, so I want you to write this out. A musician can play 20 songs in 4 hours. I actually want you to write this out so you have a good example in your notebook. So when you get to your homework today, you know what to do. Then I want you to write the rate. Okay, write the rate. And then 2, I want you to find the unit rate. Okay, so you have some good examples in your notebook. first write the rate out, and then I want you to write the unit rate. So you have a good example in your notebook when it comes to your Okay, everybody got a good one? A good example in your notebook? And make sure you get the rate written down. So if I asked you what the rate was here, what would you tell me, Ryan? Yep, 20 songs. And you know what? It's really important to label, so make sure you're labeling. That's really important, so please label. Now, if I would ask you, how can I use this to find what my unit rate was, what would you tell me? What can I do to figure my unit rate out from this? What do you think? What, Zane? You're going to take 20 divided by 4, and you're going to get your unit rate, which is 5 songs, right? Per hour. Not difficult, right? This stuff isn't hard. What if I talk about this? Betty can patch 10 pairs of jeans in 2 hours. What's my rate? Cadence, what's my rate for this one? Yep. 10 pairs in 2 hours. What's my rate here, Jasmine? Or my unit rate, I'm sorry. Yep. 5 pairs in 1 hour. No, you don't have to. But I'm going to expand off this now. What if I asked you, using this information, how many jeans can I patch in 3 hours? How many jeans can I patch in 3 hours? Jasmine, how did you know that? Right. What if I asked you, how many pairs of jeans can I patch in 10 hours? What would it be? 50. What if I go back up here, 5 songs in 1 hour? And what if I asked you, if I had 6 hours, how many songs am I going to play? 30. Okay, do you see how you can use this to figure anything else out? You can always go back to that unit rate to figure things out. All right, so here's another story problem that you might see. Reggie and Jimmy, okay? Reggie took 48 shots in 2 games, and Jimmy took 54 shots in 3 games. Who has taken more shots per game? What am I going to do to start figuring this out? I want to figure out how many shots each person took in 1 game. What can I start to do here? Reggie took 48 shots in 2 games. Jimmy took 54 shots in 3 games. Who has taken more shots per game? What do I need to start to do, Mr. Augustine? Yeah, so let's find Ray. So let's start with Reggie. What am I going to do with Reggie? What am I going to start with him? Jasmine? Yep, so 48 shots, 2 games. So in 1 game, he takes how many shots? Can you do that in your head? 24. So Reggie takes 24 shots per game. Okay, what about this guy over here, Jimmy? What do we know about Jimmy? Somebody I haven't heard from yet. What do we know about Jimmy? Yeah, Connor. Okay, so 54 shots in 3 games. Okay, so then I'm going to figure out his unit rate. Take 54 divided by 3, and you told me it's 18 shots, right? Per game. So who shot more? Reggie did. Reggie did. Definitely Reggie. Yeah, Reggie. He sounds like a ball hog. 24 shots in a game? How many is that in a quarter? 6 shots in a quarter? Is that a lot? I feel like that's a lot. Maybe not. Yeah, especially if you don't get in until the first 3 minutes of the game. What's that? Yeah, that's fine. You can keep writing. That's fine. Keep writing. I don't know. I don't know what average shot per game is. That would be interesting to know. Whose is? Oh, Stephen Curry? Well, of course his is. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know what the average shot is like for a high schooler, and then like at a college player, and then a NBA player. It'd be interesting. I don't know. So this maybe isn't a lot even. I'm not sure. I would say for NBA it's probably higher because their quarters are long. I don't know. And they also scored 100 points a game. Yeah. So everybody shoots probably 30 times. I don't know. All right, you ready to go? Ready for my next page? Okay. Okay. So let's talk about unit price now. Okay, unit price is the same as unit rate, only you're breaking it down. You're still breaking it down to when you're dealing with money. Super Sports sells 5 sweatbands for $1.95. So it's like a pack, you know, like the pack of socks, only it's like a pack of sweatbands. Sports City sells 6 sweatbands for $2.28. Who has the better price? So our job is to figure out who has the better price per sweatband. Okay. So let's talk about Super Sports first. How am I going to figure this out? I'm going to always put the money on top. So I'm going to take $1.95. And what am I going to divide by? 5. So go ahead and figure that out. Why don't we do this? Why don't this side, you do sports, you do Super Sports. Okay? This side, you do Sports City and figure out what Sports City says per sweatband. Sports City, you do 228 divided by 6. So this side is doing Super Sports. Oh my gosh, I named them way too closely. Super Sports, Sports City. That way we don't have to do both. Super Sports, you're taking $1.95 divided by 5, and Sports City, you're taking 228 divided by 6. If it goes farther than 3 spaces, just stop. Don't go any farther. Super Sports should come out pretty decent. I don't know about Sports City. It does pretty good. I don't know who wants a 6-pack of sweatbands, but this guy obviously does. I don't want a 6-pack of sweatbands. That's a lot of sweatbands. One for every day of the week, pretty much. This guy must wear them to school. I don't think I need 6. But he sweats a lot, I guess. Alright, so Super Sports. What is it per sweatband, Jasmine? 39 cents per sweatband. Sports City, what's it cost for you, Kaylee? 38. Oh my gosh. Who's cheaper? Sports City is cheaper. Just by a cent. But you know what? That's a big deal to some people. That is a big deal. Have you ever seen these people who coupon and all these? Saving a few cents is a big deal. Big deal. Your mom does it? Does she coupon? Some people are great at it. They have binders and they're going through stuff and she does? Does it even work? Some of them have expiration dates. She must just want to keep them for the memories. She maybe does. She maybe does. All right, so Jessie can type 150 words in 3 minutes. At this rate, how many words can she type in 10 minutes? So first of all, I need to figure out how many words she can type in 1 minute, right? So let's figure out how many. We could probably do this in our heads. 150 words in 3 minutes. How many can she do in 1 minute? 50? So if she can do 50 words per minute, how many words can she type in 10 minutes? 500 words. That's a lot. How many words can you type per minute? 34. Something like that. something like that. You are going to see these types of problems on your homework today. Okay, so don't think you're not going to see them. You are going to see them where you have to break them down per minute and then figure out something else from that. So you're going to see that today in your homework. And it was 50 per minute, and then it asks you how many words can she type in 10 minutes. Well, if this is, she can do this in 1 minute, I'm going to take this times 10. So she can type 500 words in 10 minutes. So you might need 2 answers for those. I'm not sure. Anybody have questions for me? I think this is kind of simple, but take your time. Show your work if you need to show some work. That's okay.